Orange is playing, man. All right. And we are live. What's up, everybody? This is GMrDrew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Głoszewski Experience. This is going to be episode 450. You'd think it'd be a special episode because it's like a nice, even number type of, you know. But no, it's going to be a quick episode. I don't have much time at all. Not even an hour, really. And I kind of just want to pick up where we left off with the concept art from yesterday, and I just kind of want to go like hammer time on it. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna like really show it too much respect. I'm just gonna kind of jump in, draw stuff, and pray, and then I'll probably rely a whole lot on paint markers after I just kind of muddy it all up. It's the plan. It's a sketchbook. This is what we have sketchbooks for. So let's boom, like a vampire. It's too bright. All right. So what we got going on? Oh yeah. So I just have my reference here. Some of y'all might recognize it. It's all good. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of jump in there and start working. Let me rotate this around real quick. Got me. We good. Everything is good. Tight. So yeah, man, this is me just trying to get a stream in, man. It's been a good day. So where did I put those markers? That's what trying to move around some art supplies and stuff like that. But right now it's not perfect. I got my brush markers and my paint markers all in the same bucket. They're a little too same and a little too different. But yeah, let's see. So we got the blues, get some greens. Sure, why not a yellow? For sure an orange. And yeah, man, like I said, no respect. No respect gonna happen on this one. And usually if there's no respect, then there's a good chance that it's gonna be like trash. But again, it's a sketchbook. Actually, let me take pictures before I ruin these. I haven't taken any pictures of any of my recent things. I've just been so busy working on other stuff. So here, let me, like, I'm not even like signing and dating these things anymore. I'm just like kind of drawing and moving on, and it's like cool. Like that's how it goes sometimes. But as someone who's been like kind of signing every drawing, every sketch, everything, it's a little alarming to myself. Alright, so what does no respect look like? It looks like you give 0 F's and you just start attacking. Gotta give a little shout out to the machines within. There we go. So you see, it's kind of just like free flow. It's a lot like what I do when I do the line art. When I just start drawing and all of a sudden the ideas come to me. It's a lot like that, where it's like, oh, okay, like you just kind of start, and then just from starting, it comes together. But the problem with that is sometimes it don't come together. Like sometimes it just goes bad, and then you try to patch it up and it just goes worse, and you try to like fix it and then you can't. So I have besides that dope music you heard me playing earlier, I think it was like a Snoop Dogg track, and then Emotional Oranges came on. But the Snoop Dogg track had like other people on it. It almost looked like a Nate Dogg. I wonder if it was one of those last recordings of Nate Dogg before he passed. I wonder if that was one of those tracks, because I hadn't heard it in a while, and I was like, whoa, what is this? Uh, you know, I buy a lot of music and then I'll listen to it, of course, but like when you have so much, it's like you could only listen to so much. It's like watching TV. You could only watch so much. You know, and then I'll like lose track of some of the songs I have, and I was like, man, I forgot I had that Nate Dogg track. You know what I mean? I always listen to the Nate Dogg classics. All right. Starting to see what no respect looks like. See how we kind of like go through this really quickly. See how it's like kind of almost decent. Like that's what this is, and you kind of just have to like cross your fingers and be like, "Ooh, I hope this works out." I hope this works out. You know, I had these ideas yesterday, and I talked through them on stream, and it's still exciting to revisit revisit these pictures that started off as like I have no clue what I'm gonna do, to now it's like, oh, attack. It's like I say, attack. Like, maybe attack is too aggressive of a word, but it is what I mean. The certainty, how much care you need to put into it. You don't ever want to attack anything for no reason, ever. Like, there better be a reason, you know? So if you ever find yourself without reasoning, don't attack. Hey, let's go. That's just like the first layer. We're just getting started. Let's go. A little more. Let's get a little more disrespectful over here. And yeah, I do mean disrespectful when I'm talking about using these tactics, because it feels, if you don't feel like you're disrespecting your own artwork when you just try to like attack it like this, then you're not attacking it properly. Like, you should feel your artwork looking back at you like, really, this is what we're doing? Like, this is what we're doing. But I promise, working this loose and this fast, I mean, it comes with like having, worked all day. Like, I was drawing some Patreon stuff earlier. Ooh, man. Yo. So I'm like writing, right? And as I was writing, I was like, you know what? Let me draw a car for this character that I'm writing about right now. I'm like, let me make a vehicle for this guy. You know? I said, why not? Why wouldn't he have a vehicle? He ought to have one. And then I wrote it in. It is one of the most badass things I ever drew. And it took like 5 minutes, and it was just a quick drawing. I had no idea what I was doing the second I started, but as soon as I got like 4 lines in, I just saw it, and forget about it, man. You know. Down, 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 down. Whatever goes up must come down, down, down. Yeah, make sure that when you got it, you got a lot of it. Yeah, I don't like these words creeping into my picture, man. I'm gonna have to get the white marker and blast them or something. Alright. Is it happening too fast? I mean, really, all I'm thinking about as I'm doing all this is like those iceberg pictures. I mean, enough YouTubers have put out iceberg videos for you to know what an iceberg kind of looks like off rip. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking about those. I'm thinking about a top light source shining down. What does the shadow look like when it hits something this big? I mean, and you're looking at something from so far away. Atmosphere has to kick in. You know what I mean? All the layers of atmo between you and the object that you're looking at. If the object's right in front of you, ain't much. If the object way over there, it's way over there. See that? That's atmo. That's how you do atmo. It's like, oh shit, it's bright. Hell, you could even hit a few spots like that. And then that's just the atmosphere penetrating, you know, the lining, the horizon line. You know, the beautiful thing about a horizon line is it is a hard cut. But the beautiful thing about atmosphere is it can erase cuts. You got to think about those like Japanese watercolor paintings that they do of like the mountains and shit like that. The Chinese paintings when they you know, you see all that wall decor and stuff. It's like boom. Alright. So the one thing that always caught my attention with those things, especially when I was a kid, before I even knew what I was looking at, I was like, how are these people drawing these things where you would see like a tree and a mountain and it would fade at the bottom into nothingness, like into the paper, where it would just fade into the paper and it would bring up this feeling of mist, you know, cloudiness. How they were able to achieve that, it was like, pfft, how they do that, you know what I mean? Look at this, man. Another reason why I'm able to do this like at this speed right now, not that I'm doing it any like super fast or anything like that, but the reason why I am able to do it at this speed is because I've been thinking about it all day. Like I haven't like focused on it all day, but I've thought about it since I streamed it yesterday. And now that I'm jumping back onto it and I'm revisiting it and everything like that, it's still fresh enough in my mind. Where it's like, I can kind of pick it up where I left off. And one of my previous streams, I was kind of like lost as far as like, what should I do? What can I do? Trying to catch a wave. There we go. I think this is a lighter color, right? Ooh, no, it's not. I thought this was gonna be lighter. What about you? I mean, okay, I'll take you. I just want to separate this mass from the surrounding water, letting it all be white. It's you can't see it. So a little bit of cool gray. The coolness of the gray value is runs along with the blue. But obviously not perfectly. It's a bit different. What's cool about these markers too is, like, I don't know why, but I'm sure it's like the chemical composition of it all, like mixing all these inks from different sources, ballpoints and these Faber-Castells from over here, and then those, from over there, and then it's like you start mixing things up. You'll see that these markers, for one reason or another, probably has something to do with like acidity or oil. I have no idea. It interacts with the ballpoint ink, where the other the Faber-Castells don't. The Faber-Castells, they they don't blend. They just kind of run over it, and everything stays where it's at. I use these other markers. Were they the Ohuhus? Love them, but they're different. They'll take that line work, and the lines will start to bleed with it, and kind of want to be wary of that. And you'll even see like some of the red is starting to like bleed and starting to even create a bit of a fade and even almost blend in with all the blue tones that I've thrown in there, blue shades. There we go. Again, no respect. I'm not really thinking too much here. Like I want to think, because it's like, man, now that I'm starting to like make some progress on this picture here. What time is it? All right. Making a little bit of progress. It's like, all right, get a little less reckless. Start to there we go. See, this is what I needed. I knew it. I was like, man, I really want to try to capture that Statue of Liberty type of, that type of color mixed in with the salt water, creates that greenish blue, almost like jade-like color. You know what I mean? I mean, drawing something like this is almost like drawing those little cities that like Brainiac would capture. Brainiac takes these cities and then just throws a lid over them, collects them, says, "I own you now." Yeah, this is a lot like that. All right, so now we got some. There we go. Now, let's for sure. I was gonna throw some colors on these, but actually, I wanna use some neutral tones on these actually. So I'll start with a base there, and then get a little bit of color, and then a shade. So even something like this, like four colors. Even like 4 colors like this. It's like base coat, just a light color, get like 1 shade in, and then like for the dark shades. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Just kind of grab stuff, grab and go. Is this not focused? Can we focus a little bit? Like, I hate that I end up having to get all extra lit up. It's like this thing doesn't want to focus. There we go. I don't know why these cameras do that. They'll focus for like people and stuff, but they won't focus for random stuff. I guess it just can't pick out a subject you know? Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, considering there's like 4 subjects on the screen. So, alright, same thing. Now the first one, because it's a light color, I was able to get like real froggy with it, but like now that these colors are getting dark enough, it's like, alright, I kind of want to not muddy this up too much, but I still want to introduce enough information for it to look like there's like stuff going on in this underwater city, whatever this is. Yo, that guy's crazy, man. Imagine just walking into a studio and going brrr, and everybody being like, "What is that? What did he do?" There we go. Put some stuff at the top. Yeah, kind of want to go a little bit more with this one just because I know these colors are going to get darker after this, and it's like, man, I'm really not going to have much use for darker colors. Dang. This is a Greg Capullo drawing. Alright, next color. See, now it's going to get dark, and now this is where the things kick in. This is when it's like, okay, I'm going to need to start drawing black and introducing black ink into this picture because it's getting a little too dark and everything's getting a little too muddy, and then you just need to depend on the black ink to kind of bring it back and revitalize. There we go. See, now you can see I'm like starting to be a little less disrespectful and starting to put a little more respect on this picture, because it's like, okay, like that. And you know, that's kind of sometimes the energy that it takes to kind of do these things. You kind of just got to go and just do it and be like, it is what it is, and you just pray that you get something that's decent, you know, even without the heavy focus. Okay, like, can we focus on the picture? Yeah. I wonder if I just hold my hand out like this and I start drawing, if it'll maintain a focus. Like, that might be what I have to do from now on. But yeah, I have to use this color a little more sparingly. Yeah, see where all the fuck it energy that I had in the beginning is like, okay, now I'm like settling into the art. That's how it goes, man. That's how you gotta do it sometimes. Sometimes it's just like, there we go. Yeah. You know, I started a second watch through of that show Andor. I put it on in the background one time, wasn't into it, didn't see it at all. Put it on a second time, and I actually kind of paid attention to it this time. I was like, oh, okay, it's really good. Now I'm putting it on a third time because I was like, okay, maybe I need to just give it a chance. Like, I wasn't giving it a chance before, just because, I mean, if I could be honest, it's like, I don't know, main characters are important to me. And who's going to be the main character is kind of like the person who's going to tell the story. And something about the whole sequel, prequel, threequel, all this other stuff that's been going on in movies and cinema lately, where people are jumping back and forth with prequels and sequels and stuff. And I can appreciate what Disney's doing. They had the original trilogy of Star Wars back in the 70s, 80s, and then they told the story before that, which was the prequel trilogy with the Qui-Gon Jinns and the Obi-Wan and all that, and the Anakin. And then we got Rogue One, which was like the bridge between the two. You know what I mean? Which in our time, in our history, is like a 20, 30 year gap. But for the movies, we had to like kind of teach classes to people to watch this stuff and be like, this is how the timeline works. This is how it is. And da 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 da. And this is when this. And it's like, I'm not trying to do too much study here. Like, I just kind of want to enjoy stuff. And not knowing when things happen can take you out of the story of being like, wait, like when is this? Who is this? Like, if that's a question you have to ask and it's not, then you've already failed in telling the story. You know what I mean? And it's like, now we have this Andor series. I thought Andor was a planet. I didn't know Andor was a character. So I was like so looking forward to it when I saw like the trailers and everything. I was like, oh, this looks so good. It looks fantastic. And then like I found out what it was about. And I was like, this guy? And then I was just like, Unfortunately, it's the character. It's that character's position in the entire trilogy, because the trilogy stories that they told were all like Skywalker. It's the top Star Wars class. And then Rogue One kind of got us Jyn Erso, whatever her name is. We got that. And it was like, it was kind of cool. I really liked seeing like beach worn troopers, stormtroopers that were like all beach worn out. You know what I mean? Like they looked like beach bums because their armor was all like beige and tattered. It was like kind of beach lifestyle. Like I vibe with that. Like I like that. I'm a big fan of Ip Man. A homie with the I'm one with the Force is one with me. It was a beautiful way to display the Force in a story where the Force isn't present, or it might be present. But it's like, that's up to you to decide, and I think that's cool. Like there was cool things, but they weren't Skywalker top-notch stuff. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of cool. And then there was like this other character, this guy that was in there. I think he was the love interest of Jyn Erso. And then I found out that's what Andor was about. I was like, wait, Andor is about Jyn Erso's love interest before the Rogue One story took place, which leads to the original movies with Luke and Leia and Darth Vader. Like, it's just a tough pill for me to swallow, to like sit down and be like, I want to invest time into that. But now, after like kind of letting it play in the background 3 times, I'm like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to be like, what do they got? What do they got? What is it? I think I've settled in to accepting that this isn't big time and that it's like this small condensed thing, because the characters in it are great. I'm watching it, and I'm watching everything a lot differently these days, as far as like, when you're a kid, I guess you kind of impose yourself into these stories, but then when you start to like turn it into a study and a profession, and you start to learn about other people's perspectives, and you start to learn about all the classifications of people, and then how like they may or may not perceive things, you start to consider all that stuff, and then you look at characters in a show. And like I said, everything from the original trilogy to the prequel trilogy to the Rogue One to the Andor, you're talking about a lot of characters, a big, vast amount of world and character events and everything like that. So to have to take something like that and just kind of accept it willy nilly is like, it's not my style. I'm looking for a color, man. I think it's this one. I hope it's this color. I hope I'm right here. I'm like looking at this picture. I'm like, I really need this color. Yes, this is it. I love these lighter colors, man, but I always run out of ink because I use them so much. These lighter colors like saved my life because I didn't have like watercolor blending back then, so it was like I needed like light colors to really kind of like grade 8 everything, and it's so hard to do with markers that don't want to bleed and blend into each other. They want to like stay hard and rigid, so it's like you got to find the values and lay them out. Yeah, this is the color I was looking for, but this marker is so dry. I'll have to buy another one. I have to go to the art store. What time is it? Okay, I got a little bit of time. So yeah, man, it's a lot of characters to pull from, and it's like you pulled Jyn Erso's boyfriend. Come on, that's what I mean. He's just not the guy that personally that I would follow. But I'm being ignorant. You know what I mean? I'm not being cool. So it's like it's taken a lot for me to settle into it. But I kind of want to start it. I started it over recently, so I'm watching it for like the third or fourth time now. And I kind of put the first episode on, and I have the first episode so memorized where I'm like, I don't even need to watch this one again. Second episode, I was like, oh wow, I got the second episode kind of memorized. That's crazy. There we go. Let me marker these out real quick just to get them out of the square. They're kind of interrupting my piece and looking at this picture. Oh, okay. I can just turn that into like some clouds or something. Alright. So I wonder what happens if I kind of do this. There we go. And do we have a white marker, a white paint marker in here somewhere? One of them thick joints. No. Ooh, I got some new white ones that I haven't even used yet. Anyway. Yeah, man. That's what it looks like when you just want to attack something. It doesn't make too much sense at the moment, but it was just an idea. I think I'll just let this one ride like this. I kind of like it. I mean, I think I achieved that whole iceberg effect, and I'm not even really pulling from reference. I'm just pulling off top. So with that said, man, I'm GMrDrew at GMrDrew on all socials. Follow, like, subscribe. Any and all supporters appreciate all that good stuff. GMrDrew.Art, my website. Check that out. That link is going to be in my bio along with any and all the other information, but links to everywhere from my website, including my Instagram that I'm posting stuff that I can't stream yet, so it's like go there to check that stuff out since I'm not doing it here. Patreon, I'm posting all my anything that has to do with the story and anything like that. All of that content goes, it's not going on my Instagram anymore. It only goes to Patreon. So I'm posting that stuff, and like I said, I made like every day I'm just spending like 15 minutes on it because I don't have much time. Just like here, like everything is just like pop. Like now that I'm like scheduling everything, it's like, oh wow, I don't have much time for everything, or for anything. So it's like I gotta make sure that I attack everything, just like I did here with this one. It's like, is it the greatest smoke you ever smoked? No. But is it decent? It's alright. Did I get the concept art done? I did. Am I happy with it? I am. I'm my own client when it comes to working on this project. Um, until I get more patrons backing me, until there's like more people, until there's like a dialogue that we get to develop over it, and then we can kind of like talk things out. Like I don't really need like help with this stuff other than just the any sort of support, any sort of ideas that people have, because I'm always interested in what people have to say about things that I work on, because it's things that I'll never think. So I always like hearing people's perspectives. I often think about like when I had conversations with like my brother's coworkers, like people who are like not in my social circle at all, and they're barely in his, and I'm just like some weirdo brother artist guy, and then I talk with them, and then it's like I talk to them about stuff, and I think about like conversations I have with people like that. People are so far removed from me and what I do that they're like, well, what are you doing? uh but yeah, that's what the whole Patreon thing is for, is so we could talk about these things, and not just me, like I'm just barking at a camera. um I'd prefer to have like people and conversation, this whole social social network type stuff take place, but just giving it time, you know what I mean? The content's here, so I just got to give it time, keep promoting myself, to keep doing all that stuff, and hopefully one day somebody would be like, yo man, this is cool, don't change anything, or somebody would be like, yo, what if you did put a submarine in there? And I'd be like, oh, I didn't think about that. It's always interesting to get other people's perspectives. Hopefully you get something from me also. Hopefully there's like, wow, this guy thinks like a little bit out of the box, and maybe you never thought to attack your artwork. Maybe you never put that sentence together in like your head. You never put those words together and like comprehended what you were saying as you were saying it. So yeah, if anything you take away from this stream today, it's like attack the work. Sometimes I just jump on here because I don't have time, and it's like, get it done, get something done. You know what I mean? Even if you ruin it, get it done. I bet if I started using some of the black micro pens in here, like a lot of it would kind of really pop. Yeah, it's exactly what I said. It's a little muddy, especially with the camera not focusing. But yeah, I think this is something that's interesting enough that you would want to go in and explore and see, what does it look like from here? Does it really look like this crappy, or do things just look crappy from afar because all the colors are blended together, so it looks like kind of neutral tone, gray or brown or something, but this is underwater, so it's a little bluish as well. You know, I don't know. It's aside from that, man, get some commissions. Let me tackle your favorite character. If you've written a story, if you're a writer and you have characters that you want me to tackle, you know what I mean? Like my Patreon, I shoot out documents for like a questionnaire to fill out for the commissions, and be like, who do you want, or what do you want, how do you want it? Since I'm into movies and things like that, it's like, do you have any references as far as like what you want it to look like, the theme, you know what I mean? If I drew a girl kissing a guy and it's a love scene, like it looks one way to you, but now I say I'm gonna draw a girl kissing a guy but it's a horror scene, well, now it's like a different thing. It doesn't look the same, right? These are the type of things that I ask in my commissions to anybody who wants to wants the commission tiers of on my Patreon. So it's like, so that way I